Hello, and welcome to Soulfessions. I'm your host, Molly Ray. To live a life full of joy, happiness, and connection, to connect with our most authentic self, we must be willing to confess where we are in life. I have worked through many traumatic life events, including giving birth to twins 3 months early. My healing began when I was ready to confess exactly how I was feeling and the work I needed to do to release the pain. I honored my feelings and used my loving connection with music in the healing process. Join me as I speak honestly about my journey and how you can begin your journey of healing and finding joy. It all starts with a Soulfession. Hello, it's Molly. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Today I would like to talk about kindness and compassion and ways that we can be more compassionate and kinder people, not just to others, but also to ourselves. In the world we live in, there are so many different perspectives. And I know I talk so much about perspectives, but as we've been going through this quarantine and this COVID-19 virus, every time I reach in and inner reflect, I'm always getting so many messages around perspective. It's so important for us to know and to understand and realize that the perspectives that each person have come directly from the experiences that occur in their lives. And there really is no right or wrong to a person's perspective. There is no right or wrong to a person's experience because the experience is that of their own. And there's many times that we can listen to other people's perspectives and experiences and empathize with their situation. However, when we are in a situation where people are feeling stressed and fearful and uncertain and even out of control of things that they want to be in control of, what happens is when we start to hear another perspective that looks very different from ours, or an experience that looks very different from ours, the initial reaction can be lashing out. It can be a harshness that's created. And I know in my last podcast, I talked about the perception of fear and how we show ourselves to others through our fears. But we also show ourselves to others through our own experiences. And that's what we're focusing on. I want to invite you, especially in the next week and the weeks to come, to begin listening differently to others. If someone says something to you that you do not agree with, take a minute and feel whatever feelings may be bubbling up inside of you. Take a minute to discern why those feelings are happening. Is this because you think differently from that person? Are these feelings coming up because the experiences in which you had may look so different from the others that it is creating a negative response? What is happening within you? And ask yourself why. Really sit in it. Before you even respond to the other person, take a minute and do a self-check-in. What is going on within you that is creating the response that you are feeling? It can be so easy for us to bottle up our feelings. It can be so easy for us to use pain and frustration and sadness and turn that into anger. It can be easy to ball that up and channel it into something that isn't really even what it is. Let me ask you this. How many times in your life were you sad about a way someone may have treated you, and your reaction to that was to lash out in anger? Were you really angry, or were you actually sad? And if you were actually sad, why did you choose anger? Many of us choose anger because it's a way for us to protect our heart. It's a way for us to protect ourselves from being vulnerable. There have been too many times that vulnerability has been looked at as being something that is bad or something that makes you look weak. And I want to tell you today that being vulnerable does not make you a weak person. Being vulnerable makes you strong. It takes a lot of strength to be honest with your feelings, especially feelings that are uncomfortable or feelings that you may not wish to feel. It's uncomfortable, and I understand. I think that anyone who has said that they've never felt sad in some way may be being dishonest with themselves. We all have situations in our life that make us sad or disappointed, and that's okay, because in those moments we have the ability to grow from that. All of these feelings and emotions that we have within ourselves, that we feel, all of these feelings and emotions that have words to describe them, they all exist because it's part of our personal development and soul growth. It all exists. Every time something happens that feels uncomfortable or negative to you, it is not a form of punishment. It is a way for you to grow. It is a way for you to learn. And if you can see the beauty in the process, in the learning process that you can come out of from that situation, you will be stronger for it. I promise you. You will be a better person for it, because that experience may help you to see another person's perspective even more. And we don't have to have the same perspective as someone else to be able to empathize with them. We don't have to have the same experience as someone else to be able to show kindness and understanding in the situation that they are in. You can choose to be kind. You can choose to see the other perspective. And you can choose to very nicely talk about why you may or may not be feeling or agreeing with their perspective on the situation or the experience. Just imagine if we all opened our hearts up to the ability to see all perspectives, and for the ability to know and understand that the perspectives of others has so much to do with their life experiences. We are all here today in this world right now for a purpose, to come together as a collective. It doesn't mean that we're all the same, because we're not. That's the beauty of it all. All of our experiences and our perspectives on things allow us to bring the vibration of this earth into a whole different level. If we're allowing ourselves to see other ways and other thoughts and other feelings, we all have the ability to make this world a better place. We have the ability to do that by allowing ourselves to grow and to grow in seeing the experience of others. We allow ourselves the ability to grow in watching our children and our youth and the wealth of knowledge and joy that comes from them. Because their perspective on life may look different at times from ours, but oh, they are so wise. Allow yourself to step in to their world and see it in the way that they see it. Because a lot of times as adults, we get stuck. We can get so stuck in our negative experiences that we can fall into a victim role where we can think that everybody's out to get us or nobody gets us. But remember, when we start to think that way, we start to attract that. And as we attract that, we start to lose our ability to see the beauty of all of the things around us. We start to lose our capability to hear the positives or the different perspectives. And we lose our sense of ability to hear our children. I know my kids are so amazing at being able to just let go of a mistake, let go of a situation. They make the conscious choice that if something negative happens and people say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, they just let it go. They don't bring it up again. They don't throw it back in that other person's face. They don't just see that person for being that one mistake. How many times in your life did you bring up someone's mistake over and over again? How many times did you choose not to let it go and choose to throw that back at them over and over again? I know I'm guilty of it. I'm not perfect, but I have actively tried to do my best to grow and be better than that. And one of the things that has been so powerful for me is the ability to look at other people's perspective and to have a deeper understanding. Because I may say that what that person did was a mistake, but that is from my experience and perspective. Maybe that was not a mistake. Maybe that was meant to be. Whatever that person went through, whatever they had to do in that situation to learn and grow, maybe what that was a blessing because it gave them an opportunity to be better than they were the moment before that happened. Now, I know we don't live in a perfect world. I know that not everybody is in a space in their life where they're able to just walk around going, oh, that's your perspective. That's your experience. Yeah, I respectfully don't agree with you, but that's okay. And let me hear you out and you hear me out and we'll go our separate ways. I know that that's not where we're at right now. But just think if as many of us as humanly possible could take the baby steps one at a time and just start recognizing and looking at things differently and taking the time to recognize, why are you reacting in that way? I guarantee you the shift is going to happen. I can see the shift in my life just from the choices that I've made, the choices and decisions that I've made, of the willingness to see the perspective of others. And in this time where so many of us and so many people are feeling uncertain about their future or uncertain about what the way things may go and may be, now more than ever is time for us to have faith, follow our heart, and get honest and start telling the truth about where we are in life and be kind to ourselves. Be kind to yourself. It's okay if you have a day where you want to cry. It's okay if you have a moment where you need to feel sorry for yourself. How you choose to pull yourself out from that, that's what you want to pay attention to. Take that time and cry about it. Take that time and be angry, but let's not be angry towards others and let's not be angry towards ourselves. Let's just take the time to verbalize how angry we feel. Communication is so important. This whole pushing things down and bottling it up and pushing things onto others, mirroring our thoughts and feelings onto others. It doesn't allow us to move forward. But you can make the conscious decision today to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And you can do that by verbalizing how you really feel in a kind, compassionate way. Recognizing why you may feel the way that you do. And taking the time to weed through all of the feelings that may be rising up from that. And being okay with being vulnerable. And being okay with being honest. In that you will be stronger for it. You will begin to see others in a different light. And together, we may be able to create a much more compassionate, loving world. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you for tuning in with me today. If you are enjoying the podcast, please like it and share it with your friends and family. To learn more about my soul movement coaching, sound therapy, and other services, you can visit my website at www.tuneinwithmolly.com.